Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting chess game from 1955 from the Soviet Chess Championship, and we have two of the legendary Soviet chess grandmasters of the time. So this chess game was played in Moscow. We have Efim with the white pieces and Alexander Kotov with the black pieces. Kotov is also famous for his book Think Like a Grandmaster. They were both Soviet chess champion at one time. So Geller won the Soviet chess championship for 2 times. And Geller was also famous because of his fierce attacking style. So he starts the game with e4 and we have e5. And we have the Spanish game Morphy defense, bishop back and castling. Bishop to e7, we see some conventional moves. And both players has managed to castle. c3 and defending the bishop, c5, developing the knight, queen, developing the queen, knight back, and basically Geller wants to shift his knight to the king side, knight to c6, knight to e3, rook over, and then d4. So capturing the pawn and fighting for the center, and bishop back, and also attacking this pawn with the knight and with the rook. Well, we see b3, sacrificing a pawn. So bishop back and then capturing the pawn, bishop to b2. For the activity, you can see that Geller sacrificed a pawn, but you can see that his bishops are very active. Bishop to b7, and we can say the same thing about Kotov, closing the door, d5, and fixing the d pawn and closing the door to this bishop. And this bishop doesn't fire anything as well, but on the other hand, we can see that white's bishops has great prospects. They have developed very actively. I mean, they look menacing, aiming the king. So we have c4, b takes on c4, capturing the pawn. Still, Kotov wants to open some lines, but then here comes giving up one of the bishops. Why? Why did he do that? Rook takes on e4, but then knight is getting in with a tempo. So what else? Defending the rook, and now queen is getting in. And all of a sudden you can see that the knight, the queen is very close to the king. The bishop is showing teeth to the king. So this doesn't look promising for Alexander Kotov. So you can see that white is very active with his pieces, and the queen and knight combination is usually very dangerous around the king, so pushing the pawn and giving the boots to the knight. But Geller has no reverse gear. He played knight to f5, getting even closer. So we have rook takes on e1. What happens if capturing the knight? Then, can you see the move? Not knight takes, but rook takes is the move. And if black doesn't want to lose the queen, if let's say capturing, then bishop takes on g7. And how to defend the checkmate threat? Only defense, and then queen to g6, and there is no defense. Black is getting checkmated. If bishop takes on d5, knight to h6, lights out, checkmate. So we have rook takes on e1, rook takes on e1, and can you see the idea of Efim Geller? Now he is intending to sacrifice his knight, which is accepted. Let's play a random move. Can you see the idea of white? It's actually not very obvious at first. Okay, rook to e7 is the idea, an amazing move. And if black doesn't want to lose the queen, he is basically getting checkmated. Queen takes on f7, queen takes on g7, checkmate. Simply beautiful. So this is why, I mean, this is a very big threat, and black is defending that, capturing the knight, getting rid of one of the aggressors. And black can't push the pawn actually because the bishop is aiming on h8. It would be checkmate, queen to h8 if black pushes the pawn. So we have rook to e3. Basically Geller wants to swing his rook to h3 and then checkmating the king. So we have attacking the knight, and then boom, how to defend the mate? What else? Bishop takes on g7. I mean, if bishop takes rook up, is possible, of course. You can see that is going to be extremely dangerous. So we have bishop takes on g7 and then rook d8, bishop back. And what would you do in this position? Bishop back is the only move. Okay, rook takes on f8 and Kotov resigned. What a knockout. Unbelievable. We see two heavyweights of chess and this heavyweight chess contest ended in a knockout. With a knockout actually. So if king takes rook, queen to h8 checkmate, knight is occupying the escape squares. So thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next time. Take care and bye bye.